Welcome! Welcome to the original 1993 release of Doom, which we'll be playing now, because the new Doom is coming out. So, last year I played the original shareware episode, Knee Deep in the Dead. This one. I played it on the Ultimate Doom, and I figured it would be more fun to go back and play through the entire game, all of Doom 1, and do so in the original release rather than the Ultimate Doom release. This is the first one released on floppy disks back in 93 and in 94. I believe the shareware version was 93 and the full version was 94. I could be wrong on that. Both might have been 93. Either way, it's version 1.1. So, we're going to play it on Ultra Violence, and I hope I don't regret that, because it's been a while since I played Doom. But here we go, let's enjoy this. Now, we're playing this on DOSBox, and yes, as you can hear, it's MIDI audio. It's truly classic Doom. And as such, we don't have any fancy modifications. We don't have any source ports. We're going entirely on classic Doom. I actually wanted to run this in Chocolate Doom, and if you don't know what Chocolate Doom is, I highly recommend checking it out. Chocolate Doom is shit. I want to get by without getting hit by those guys. Chocolate Doom is a version. It's a source port of the original Doom that still plays like the original. Doesn't add anything, but it works on modern systems. Oh yeah, here's the first change from this version of Doom to later ones. In later Dooms, there's a switch here, and when you push that switch, you open a door here. But not in this version. So, you might be noticing I'm still playing with the mouse look and mouse walk, to be honest, because I can move forward and backwards with the mouse. That was a part of the original Doom, just that most people don't remember it because they likely didn't have the DOS compatible mouse drivers. All the US haven't had a good time trying to get it to work in modern day. But you can play the original Doom with basically modern shooter controls, in that you can use WASD for movement, mouse for look and fire and stuff like that. Although it's still obviously limited to the tank movement and look that Doom has. I was considering going with ultra classics strafe keys like dot and comma and such first, but I decided that I would rather, play somewhat decently than just showing off how a game used to be played. So yeah, this part here doesn't open up, that part there doesn't open up. If there is a way to open it up, I don't know how, because this version of Doom is one I've not played in a very long time. But, oh, there you are. I couldn't see them. But, still, it's good. So, last time I played this, which was, like I said, was a year ago, I talked about the story of Doom. I had an intro crawl going over the actual narration for Doom's intro, which is only in the manual. And I guess I can sum it up in case you've not seen shit. I guess I can sum it up in case you've not seen it. In the original Doom manual, we learned that the Marine, the character you're playing, the unnamed Space Marine, was originally stationed on Earth, and during a there was basically this instance where your commanding officer ordered firing upon civilians, and you were like, fuck you, and punched this officer in the face. Oh, let me see my secret score here. 100%, yep, so that area those two walls just don't open in the original version. That's cool. Either way, so you punched your superior officer in the face, and as a result, you were relocated, originally to Moss, and you were basically put under watch by military police for the time being. And that's when hell broke loose, and you followed along with those stationed with you to Deimos, which is Mars's moon we're on, and that's where the story starts. And the rest, of course, is told through narration boxes between episodes, so we'll get to that. But yeah, I always liked that. Like, people have this misconception that Doom doesn't have a story, that Doom didn't try to have a story and stuff like that, and it did. It didn't try to, it didn't push story ahead of gameplay, because Carmack felt that was the wrong way to design a game. And originally they were going to have a much more involved and limiting story. There was going to be specific locations and characters, and you had to, like, basically almost like an RPG. We were gonna have to, like, interact with people and do stuff. But they felt that was limiting the game too much, and it just, you wouldn't be able to play the game the way they wanted you to play it, and it was cancelled in favor of the new plot. However, people have this odd idea that meant that John Carmack and the original Doom team were against the concept of games having a story or narrative focus. That's not the case. They just didn't want Doom's story to get in the way of Doom's gameplay, which it doesn't. Still has plenty of story. In my opinion, that's the way to do it. That's how you wanna. That's a sweet spot you want to strike if you don't want a narrative-heavy game. Is to not just ignore story, but just make sure it doesn't get in the way of what you want the game to do. So we're gonna get the chainsaw here, which of course is the first secret weapon you can get. Not counting the shotgun if you play on lower difficulties. The chainsaw, of course, is quite overpowered. But of course it's a melee weapon, so that's the big downside to it. Unfortunately, I'm not that good at knowing all the changes between versions of Doom. I wish I was. I know the prototype versions and the shareware version changes. But when it comes to like this release versus 1.9, which is the current release of Doom, like I don't know off the top of my head things beyond the first stage being changed. So hopefully I'll just come across some fun stuff. Like, I don't know if this was still when the plasma rifle had a different fire rate, or if it was still when the BFG didn't work the same way. I don't think so, but it could be. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully. So I'm gonna switch back to the pistol. Nope, shotgun. There we go. Playing this having just kind of woken up, to be honest. Like, I wanted to play this a couple of days ago because you know Doom's coming out, and I wanted to make sure I had this version of Doom on the go before I played the first one. I played the new one, I meant to say. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking and playing today. But I just haven't had any time since I came home from Kodachicon. And tomorrow, Thursday, I'm leaving for Confusion. So, like, I'll be away again. Like, I am not going to be home when the new Doom releases. And even though I don't expect much of anything from the new Doom, that kind of bothers me. Because I did want to play it, you know, the day it released, and have a first impression that's just not affected by other people's opinions. Like, I'm going to be avoiding that stuff like a plague. I don't even want to know which of my friends have played Doom. Like, as far as I'm concerned, until I can play the game myself, that game doesn't exist. Because it's such a, like, sacred franchise to me that I cannot let someone ruin it for me by even hinting at what the game is like, you know? So, be it good or bad, I'll find out when I have time to play it. Like, I own the game. I bought it. I have bought the new Doom. I caved in. and did it. But on Friday when it launches, I am going to be out of town. So unless the game runs on my laptop, which I highly doubt, it's going to be a while until I get to play it. Because I won't be home until Monday night. But hey, I'll have a con to keep me busy. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. There were more imps here than I expected it to be. It's kind of funny actually. I remember when they first showed off the new Doom and everyone got pissed at me for not liking the footage. One of the things I said was that the game looked too much like Brutal Doom. Like, I don't know if I said it in the video, but I said it on Twitter. I said it was like, if I want Brutal Doom, I'll just play Brutal Doom. And I guess I should clarify that a bit. Like, I don't actually dislike Brutal Doom. I feel Brutal Doom misses the essence of Doom. I feel like it doesn't feel like a Doom game, the way I feel a Doom game should be. But it's a fine little mod, and it's a very interesting little mod. It's a very impressively made mod, to say the very least. But it's not what I'm looking for in a Doom game. And if you are, that's great. But having now seen more and more of the new Doom, I gotta be honest. Like, I kind of wish it was more like Brutal Doom, because at least Brutal Doom looks and feels more Doom than that game looks. But you know, maybe I'll be wrong. I certainly hope I'll be wrong. That's the thing. Like, I am really, really negative towards the new Doom. Like I said, I have no real expectations from it at this point. But like, I want nothing more than for that game to be like the best shooter in a decade. Like, that's what I want. I doubt it will happen, but it is what I want, and I think some people think that I want it to be bad, which is not the case. That's the opposite of what I want. So I'm going to be giving it the fair try, so to say. Like, I'm going to give it every chance I can when it launches, and hopefully I will enjoy it. Hopefully I'll have a good time, but only time will tell at this point. Did I hear someone else shoot it? Oh, no, there's someone else there. Isn't there? Yeah. I think they're dead now. Hopefully. Oh, let's see. Oh, shit. Yeah, so ultra-violence is where Doom becomes sort of hide behind walls when you enter a new room. I guess the game, in a way, created cover-based shooting in that regard. But, yeah. This game gets tough. Like, it only gets harder and harder the further you get, and in ultra-violence, it's no joke. Like, it's good. And I always play the Doom games on the second to hardest difficulty first. Like, I don't start on Nightmare. I start in Ultra-Violence or in Doom Freeze Case Veteran. Of course, in Doom Freeze Case you had to unlock Nightmare anyway. But like, when it comes to the new Doom, I'm going to be playing that in Ultra-Violence. Unless that somehow turns out to be too easy, which, you know, once again, time will tell. Then I might up it to Nightmare, but we'll see. One thing I do like already about the new Doom, and I won't be just talking about the new Doom, it's just that I'm retracing I'm rethreading episodes right now by playing these stages, might as well. One thing I do like about the new Doom that they've shown is they talked about the Ultra Nightmare mode, which is playing Nightmare mode with 1 life, no save points. Or rather, no checkpoints. You can save, but you can't, you can't die, because then you have to start over from the start. And I like that, and I like that they, like, admit, like we have not been able to finish this, you know, at the studio. We still don't know if, like, they said that they know it's possible. Like, they've checked it, like, I guess, by playing through. I mean, of course it's possible, because I mean, otherwise you couldn't finish the regular Nightmare mode, I suppose. But no one has been able to even get close to finishing it yet. And there's a yellow door we've missed somewhere, and I'm not sure where. I want to go back and look for it. Something opens when I run past there. But I'm not sure where. That's where it opens. Is it down here? No. What is that? There's something that opens, but I don't know what it is. Ah, okay. Map. Oh, okay, so there's something here. Yeah, I forgot about this area. That's like the map system they have. The new version of the auto map. It's basically Metroid Prime's map, which I like. I hope it's used in a good way, because if it's just like, hey, we have a cool 3D map and we're not gonna use it in any way that's interesting, then that's disappointing. What the fuck? Well, fuck those guys. Well, that's cooler. Was that the third or fourth level? I think it was third level. Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, I've completely forgotten the enemy count on these stages. I used to know them by heart, but it's been a long time since I played Doom daily. And yes, there was a time when I played Doom daily. It was actually a very long time I would play Doom daily. I used to have a, I might still have it. I used to have an old laptop, like, an old, like, Intel 386 laptop. And, I had Doom installed on that. That was also the floppy disk version, because of course it was. Like, the computer was from, like, fucking 91 or something. And we're talking, like, every time I started Doom, if I had to load a stage, or if a demo had to load at the start, it would take, like, about 10 minutes to load it. And I still played through Doom on that, so, like... yeah. I was playing for that was actually the first computer I played through Wolfenstein 3D on, was that laptop. I brought it with me on a school trip, and we sat down and played Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, and Prince of Persia. On a black and white screen with horrible, horrible motion blur. Like some of the worst motion blur I've ever seen on a monitor. And I've seen a lot. I mean, anyone who's played like old handheld systems know how bad they can get, but like, this was way worse. Yeah, that was good times. It was a long time ago though. Ah shit, die. Okay, fuck it. Oh shit. How many pinky demons are there going to be? Come over here. I probably told this story before, but the code written to make enemies track you through walls, like to tell, like basically the script telling enemies that if there's a wall between you and the player, walk around it, and how to walk around it. That was written by John Carmack for a game called Catacombs 3D, which is one of their pre-Wolfenstein 3D first-person shooters that its software developed. Back when they were called... Actually, they may still have been called id Software back then, I'm not certain. That code, that original code by Carmack, is still used today. At least as late as Wolfenstein The New Order. I don't know if it's in the new Doom or not, but I'm assuming it is. Anyway, we're gonna call the first episode here, and tomorrow we'll play through the rest of episode 1, and then we'll move on to episode 2. Yay!